Boy, there's nothing like a fresh set of strings on a guitar. Welcome all of you string picking guys and gals back to the String Pickers channel here at Obscene Studios. I am your host, Casey. This is Richie. Just put strings on Richie yesterday evening, and the ones that were on it were pretty bad. I done a video a while back where I addressed some frets and stuff like that on this guitar and cleaned it up a little, but the strings, playing it yesterday, kind of deadened out a little. So put a fresh set of Diodarios on there, and she's sounding right now. There just ain't much better than a fresh set of strings. So first off, updates. I've just done my first 2 or 3 lives on YouTube. You guys, some of you have seen them, some of you probably didn't. My first live was outstanding. I had 317 views on that and had a lot of people come in. Alone on bass. Subscribe to my channel. That dude, man, he can wail on a bass. You guys need to go over and check him out if you haven't already. Also, I don't know when I'm going to do a weekly live. I've thought about it. I kind of want to do it on a day that doesn't overlap any of you guys in the community that watch my vids, that do your own videos and live streams. I was thinking along the lines of possibly a Thursday, maybe a Thursday evening, something like that. Not sure yet, but look forward to that. We're going to start doing some lives. I've done 3 so far. I'm getting a little bit better at it as I go. I'm not going to start right away. That's in the future. And bad news, I had a part 2 to the Veilton GP 100. I've done a 30-minute video on that thing. A part 2 showing the interface, or not necessarily the interface, but showing the downloads hours, which you couldn't get. I don't know why. If the website may be shut down, I don't know. But I couldn't get them. I did find people that posted pictures and description under it to what it said. So I've done a whole video on that. And when I saved it to my hard drive, it only saved 5 minutes of it. So, and then I'd already returned the Veilton, and so I'm just going to go through the pros and cons of that video. I would buy it. I would buy it. At $149, you can do a lot with that pedal. I didn't really care much about how it sounded through the interface, but man, through an amp, it sounded amazing. I liked it. Was it worth $149 for it to do all the stuff that it does? Yes, it is. And I would buy it, hands down. So if I was to give it a rating, it would be probably 4.5 out of 5 stars. So this is part 2 to the Line 6 Catalyst. You might have seen it in the intro where I kind of panned over it and let you guys look at it and stuff. We have done a video recently on this amplifier, and then lately it has come to my attention. There is a comment on the original video of that was put out maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I'm not sure now. I'll put the comment right there. This guy had enlightened me. I mean, look, it's onboard noise gate. I mean, come on, man. How do you do that? You know, and then all of a sudden the user interface on the computer, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, I didn't know that the Catalyst done that. I thought a Catalyst was kind of the back to bones, you know, used to be kind of amp where they didn't sacrifice sound for all of the computer stuff, you know, and everything, which I like the Catalyst. I did. The first video, you know, I told y'all the story. I'm not a Line 6 person. After the mind blew up on me, by the end of that video, I'm a Line 6 person again. I like the Line 6 Catalyst. It is a nice amplifier. We have the 60 watt version of that amplifier, and It's amazing. It sounds really good. The only thing that I didn't like about it was I told people, if you get this amp, you're going to have a noise gate pedal if you do anything high gain. However, you could set it on the crunch setting and get in and maybe add a bit of overdrive, and it would help it out. So we just kind of done that with it. And then was actually just a couple of days ago sitting watching television, and then ping, I get a notification to YouTube. And you guys know I try to answer all of my comments. I don't get a lot of them, so I feel that if somebody's going to take the time to comment on one of my videos, I'm going to take the time to reply. So I got a comment from someone I'd never seen before, a Mr. Gerard, and said it was a cool video. I thought that was pretty awesome of him to come in and compliment that. And then he said, as you've seen, that it would help for people to know that it has an onboard noise gate. And I was kind of like, what is going on? Now, where's it at? Well, it's kind of a weird thing that you have to do, and you can turn it on and off. And it was a complete game changer. I mean, the it didn't sacrifice tone. It did everything sounded just exceptionally well. After I told my son, hey, you need to bring this thing back. You need to bring it back over here. We need to do another run through of this thing, because I just found out some stuff by this gentleman that commented on the first video that this amp does that I didn't know about. Well, however, when you go to line6.com and you try to download the firmware updater and all that stuff on a Chromebook, not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. Chromebooks are basically just for surfing the web. Very few applications you can download unless it's from the Google Play Store, and most of the time you got to pay an arm and a leg for that. So I went to my Mac, which is where I do all of my editing and everything. And I was able to download the editor on screen, but I could not download the firmware updater. It was a file that I could not open. So that was okay. I was fine with that. My son has a computer now. He knows how to do it, and he can go home and get on there and do all that stuff at his house. But today, we are going to look at the editing software. I'm going to show you how to turn on and off the noise gate without even having a computer at all. There's like a little hack, okay, you guys, don't put your seatbelt on in your car. All of these new cars, you make it 15 feet, ding, 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 and it drives you nuts. Most cars have a hack that you can do to shut that alarm off. That's kind of like this Line 6. I mean, I didn't know that you could do that, but it was awesome. It was just completely awesome. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to run through some of the options that this thing has once again, but this time through the editor, so you can see actually what this looks like on the computer screen, and it gives you a better representation of everything offered with the Line 6 Catalyst. So hang around, grab yourself a chair, pull it right up, kick your feet up, get your favorite drink, and let's ride through this thing together. Okay, guys, you can hear that hissing, and it is bad. This is the noise that comes from this amp when you put it on the insane setting. But check this out. You see right here, this little red button? It's above the boost. You push that down, the knob goes to the right, turns the noise gate on, to the left, shuts it off. What about that? Isn't that cool? Okay guys, for the first time we have a 2-camera setup on the string picking channel. That way you guys can see me, and so you don't think that I'm picking my nose while we're looking at the screen. So what we got here is the Line 6 editing software. Now this is pretty much cut to the chase, everything you need to know right here. We have our Line 6 plugged in. I have it mic'd with an SM57. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so let's go through some of the features of this. What you get is you get 6, let me pull it down here. You get 6 banks, but you only get 2 effects per bank. That's going to be your A and your B right here. So if we click A, we're on, let's click on the first one. We'll go number 1, and that changes to 1A, which is pristine. Okay, now we're going to go through adding and taking away effects because I thought that this was really cool. They usually send that piece of paper on top of the amp to tell you what effects it has, you know, and it's hard to tell exactly what it is. But if you go here, let's turn effect 1 on. That's a simple delay. If you click once on that, check that out. I mean, come on, man. You got simple delay, vintage delay, transistor tape, aderatic delay, dual delay, and ducking delay. If you're wondering why I've not got my glasses on, I'm of the pristine age to where I have to take my glasses off to see, you know, so that's what we're dealing with right now. So let's see. Nice little delay there. You can adjust the parameters on these. If you'll notice, the parameters will be right down here at the bottom, right in here. Here's an aderatic delay. You can adjust the mix over here, pre and post. And like I said, you can turn those on and off. And right down here is Effect 1 Advanced Parameters. Let's see, there's a note. It says sync. You can turn the sync off and do manual. Feedback, we could raise that level, all of that good stuff. And then we can go back up here. And right over here, we can go back. We've already got another delay on that. So let's change to modulation. On the modulation, we have the optical trim, the plastic chorus, the script mod phaser, the gray flanger, and the rotary and ubiquitous vibe. I don't know what the ubiquitous vibe is, but we'll find out. Let's go to that. Okay, and let's go to on. Well, it's already on. We're going to turn the mix up. Let's turn effect number 2 off. Ooh, that's a nice little delay. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so now let's say we want to do something else there besides any kind of modulation. Well, let's look at the phaser. Let's turn the mix up on that. Let's turn level. check out the other effects. Here's your pitches. We have a growler, a bass octaver, pitch harmony, pitch shift. Let's try octave, fuzz, and synth string. Okay, now let's see. Let's do something over here. Let's shut effect 1 off. Turn on effect number 2, and let's get away from the delay, and let's go. We looked at, it won't let us do that on the second effect, but we can do the reverb, which is spring, hall, plate, chamber, plateau. Plateau is really, let's check that out. Plate is usually what I like to use, so let's try plate. Let's do decay. Let's see. Level, low cut, high cut. Let's raise that. That sounds pretty cool. Let's go to spring. Let's go to that. And dwell 70. Grip high, low cut, high cut. It's unique too. So yeah, anyway, what we're looking at is you get 6 different delays, 6 mods, 6 reverbs, and if you go back, you get your pitches. So yeah, that's what we're looking at as far as the editor. Now over here, you can get to the noise gate and shut it off and on right there. You can adjust the decay, you can adjust the threshold, you can turn it on, but we done figured out how to do that on the amp itself, so you really don't even need this for the noise gate. You have your volume, your EQs right here. You have all of this going on that you can get in and change everything that you need to change on the Line 6 Catalyst, which I thought was pretty cool, especially the fact that if you're looking at it, you can see that there are knobs that you can actually turn to give you a feel to where, you know, you can dial it in and stuff, because most of the time when you're just looking at the numbers, it can be a bit confusing, especially if you've played for a long time manually and you've adjusted knobs and everything. And you can save all of these. Let's see, let's go to another, let's go to number 3. Now the A and the B are the 2 patches you get per bank, and the M is for mute. You can mute the patch altogether where nothing comes out at all. Let's see, let's go to number 4. Oh, that's a cool effect. Let's see what's on B. Okay, let's go to channel 5. And let's go to channel 5A channel. Okay, let's turn the volume down just a little. Equalizers is about right at. You also have your boost button on right here. So you can add to that, and plus your knob to change, you know, your effect, your voicing. So let's go to really high gain on that. So let's go to channel number 6. And channel number 6 is Oblivion. So yeah, that's everything that has to offer on your online editor for the Line 6 Catalyst. There are a lot more things that you can do with this, but you're going to need a Windows computer in order to access a lot of this stuff, because it's just not made really for Mac and for the Chromebook. And if it is, it's made for a newer Mac than I got. So yeah, that's it. So let's settle back for our thoughts and opinions on the matter. So not too shabby, eh? Your boy is moving up in the YouTube world. I got 2 cameras going and everything. But yeah, that is the Line 6 Catalyst. I I really am getting back into the Catalyst. I really do like the fact that you have an online editing software to move things around without having to try and figure it out by the dials. And I like the format that it's set up in. So I thought that was really cool. And guys, I really apologize for not having a part 2 to the Veilton GP 100. I just can't believe that all that went down, and I ended up losing all that footage, and then the pedal went back, so we just had to do away with that. But we do have a part 2 to the Catalyst with some pretty cool updates. I would like to thank Mr. Gerard, Gerard. Thank you for your comment, brother. I really do appreciate that. This is largely the part of YouTube that I like, is interacting with followers to my channel, people that have a little more knowledge on things than I do. And this was a really big help, because that noise was one of the main reasons why I didn't buy this. I didn't want any part of it, because I thought, man, what's the sense in having that? And you're going to have to buy a noise gate too. But thanks to Mr. Gerard. I appreciate you, brother. You have enlightened me on how to kill the noise on this Line 6 Catalyst. It's really cool that was been able to figure that out. And you can do the same thing on the editing software as well. But guys, that's what I got for you today. I really appreciate you coming in. Speaking of noise gates, I have a shootout between 2 noise gates that I have here in the studio that we're going to talk about next time around. I have one that is a Rowan, and I have one that is a K-Mize, and we are going to crank some high gain up on something other, and we're going to see how well these noise gates do. That way, if you ever run into an amp that possibly sounded like this one in the beginning, but you can't kill it like you can on this one, then you'll know what kind of noise gate that you can get to solve that problem. As always, I hope you and yours have the most blessed day ever. And I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later.